Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for watching. Today, we begin our Lenten journey. Before I share my reflection for today, I just want to take a moment to remind you of the Ash Wednesday service, and that is tonight right here in the church at 7 p.m. If you are not able to come this evening or are not quite comfortable to be in person yet, but would like to mark the beginning of Lent and Ash Wednesday with the imposition of ashes, you are invited to come to the church anytime this morning between 11 and 1. Debra and I will be here in the chapel. We'll have some ashes and we'll offer a blessing just for you. So Debra and I are using another resource from A Santified Art for the season of Lent. A Santified Art is a collective of artists and theologians creating amazing worship resources for others. Throughout Lent, I will be sharing with you each Wednesday one piece of art and some poetry from this resource. And I really hope you find them meaningful and a helpful grounding place throughout this Lenten journey. The theme for Lent is full to the brim. And here's a description of the theme from the resource. The origins of Lent were that one was to leave their old life behind, to fast, and prepare to be baptized into a new way of living. In essence, this was a practice of stepping away from corrupt power, scarcity mentality, and empty rituals in order to live a more expansive and full life of faith. And so our Lenten theme, Full to the Brim, is an invitation into a radically different Lent, into a full life. It's an invitation to be authentically who you are, to counter scarcity and injustice at every turn, to pour out even more grace wherever it is needed. When we allow ourselves to be filled to the brim with God's lavish love, that love spills over. It reaches beyond ourselves. Like water, it rushes and flows, touching everything in its path. Full to the brim reminds us to live fully as we pursue justice and hope or express grief and gratitude. And so this Lent, let us trust fully that we belong to God. Let us increase our capacity to receive and give grace. Let us discover the expansive life God dreams for us. So the first piece of art I want to share with you is this. It's called Joy Comes in the Morning and is by Carmel Beaujolin. It's inspired by Joel chapters 2, 1-2 and 11-17, but I'm not going to read the passage for you now, but it's here on the screen if you'd like to make a note of it and read it later. I will read for you, however, the artist's statement, and this is what she said. Mother's Day 2016 happened to fall on a Sunday. For the first time since I was a young girl, I traded my flowery pink dresses for a delicate black dress. One church member asked the uncomfortable question that hid behind many of the pitiful gazes and uncomfortable half smiles aimed in my direction that morning. Why in the world are you wearing all black? The question felt absurdly rhetorical. I had buried my own mother only the day before after a year-long battle with cancer. I was one day into a season of active mourning, a response that seemed as strange to those around me as the question of my wardrobe seemed to me. Our Christian faith provides space for the abstaining practice of fasting as a core Lenten practice. Current cultural context has grown to accept tears for at least a time as a socially accepted and natural first step toward the longer process of healing from grief. But what do we make of the practice of mourning? The Day of the Lord in Joel chapter 2 is an intentional call to expression of mourning that bring life to a holy halt. The rending of hearts and of garments of mourning, the calling for a holy fast and stillness, and the expectant joy of the relenting of the wrath of God are deeply tied to the process of fasting, weeping, and mourning named in verse 12. Joy Comes in the Morning is an interrogation of the collective turn away from practices of mourning. The mourner wears their grief as a golden garment for all to see. In a world where rendered black bodies captured on body cams frequent the media, while black mourning is disregarded as performative, Joy Comes in the Morning embraces the dancing and disruptive public displays of black mourning that often serve as prophetic witness, calling us to face the reckoning of the Lord's day where peace and justice will reign. What if the practice of Lent invites us into a season of not only fasting, but also of weeping and mourning? What if our grief is longing to spill out from all we were within and into all we are in the world? What if a deeper Lenten expression of mourning, amid loss of all kinds, is the pathway to joy we've been seeking in our walk with God all along? Great questions for us to reflect on as we begin this time of Lent. And I will close with the poem by Reverend Sarah Speed called On My Way. You said, return to me, so here I am, skin and bones held together with memories and a little bit of duct tape. I am bringing the worst of me. Consider yourself warned. The furrowed brow, the achy back, the slew of judgments, a pocket full of assumptions, the track of negativity that runs laps in my head. I am bringing it all because you said, return to me, edits not required. So return I will, and not all of it will be bad. Some of it will be lovely. I will bring a wagon full of nostalgia, a melody that won't let me go, a million stories that start with the words, oh, it was beautiful. I will bring a mended heart, a glass half full, 2 lungs out of breath from dancing too long, and dreams that taste like honey. I will bring my whole messy human self because I know, I just know, deep in my bones that you are already running to meet me. There are no cuts on this team. You said you'd take it all, so here I come. Me and my humanity, we are on my way. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to this journey of reflection, prayer, and remembering to live fully, trusting fully that we belong to God. And I also look forward to seeing some of you later today and the rest of you on Sunday as we gather in person and online for worship. Have a blessed week, everyone.